measuring diversity, equality, and inclusive progress. That is what the topic of today's video is all about here. So the area of expertise, as what we will be discussing, are the assessment which is done by not only the leader but also by the top management, the employee selection, the litigation support in case if something gets entangled in the court of law, the diversity strategy, the diversity measurement, if possible, competency modeling, and job analysis. What are we looking at it? We are looking at the global benchmarking as far as talent management are concerned, which is inclusive of diversity, equality, and inclusiveness. That is what we are looking around here. So yes, we talk about performance management, staffing for mergers and acquisition, and the organization survey thereby. So what are we looking out here? We are looking for web-based solution platforms, which is absolutely transparent, which is accessible to everyone at every corner. The metrics are easily understandable. In case if you don't understand, you can refer back to the website, probably get in touch with the help center, and so on and so forth. So what we are looking as in selection metrics, a portal which will give you exactly the job analysis, what the job is demanding around it, and probably based upon it, the job specification would be uh, mentioned. Then comes the leadership assessment suite, as in the leadership assessment suite will let the top management knows as to what kind of employees we have in our payroll and what kind of employees we should be looking forward to, so that we are not to be termed as DEI exclusive. We need to be proven that we are equitable to every person in the society, irrespective of caste, colors, creed, race, origin, and so on and so forth, the language, the religion. That is what we're looking around here. The job matrix will tell me the job analysis, what is expected, what can be done by a physically challenged person, or probably a person who is defying age and probably still in the workforce. We need to be equitable. The job metrics will let us know as to which kind of jobs will be telling us the job analysis. The 360-degree metrics will let us an appraisals from every nook and corner of the organization, including the vendors, and perhaps if the customer is possible. And then by thereby the survey metrics, which will tell us how diversely inclusive we are all about here. The foundation of measurement capabilities led by metrics, uh, diversities and inclusiveness practice leaders supported by industry organizational psychologists with the expertise in design of competency model, knowledge and behavioral assessment, performance and talent management process, and probably disparate impact and barrier analysis. Based on the experience developing world-class talent solution and definitely yes, nationally recognized employment litigation support. That is what we should all be looking forward towards. The current state of diversity and inclusive metrics, if we may say so, we have to look at the compliance level. Most of the organization would be ensuring that they are following the law of the land, following the rules that has been mentioned to be inclusive as far as employee selection are concerned, as far as there are no litigation that can be involved, and probably the firm does not want to get into itself embroiled in a litigation. So compliance is an issue, avoidance of legal issues related to the treatment of protected classes thereby. We are talking about recognition, acknowledging the differences as a challenge to be managed as on when on basis. Then comes the inclusion, seeking the positive values of differences through engagement. This is important. So the what is the positive values of differences through engagement? Per se activation, using differences to achieve organizational competitive success perhaps, and that is how where we are looking around it. So what is it? Compliance, recognition, inclusiveness, and activation. Being active around it, ensuring that the organization is performing to the prim of performance level. So diversity is the existence of differences that we go around it. Diversity is to recognize there is people are coming from different background thoughts. Diversity is all about inclusions, embracing everybody irrespective of what background they belong to. And activation and compliance is what we talk about it. So inclusion is what we do with them as on when on basis. As we go from compliance to recognition, recognitions to inclusion, and inclusions to activation is what the increasing cultural competence is all about. It that is what we are looking forward to. It we are linking the diversity and inclusiveness to the business strategy. We are becoming a neutral organization as far as diversity is concerned. We are embracing diversity. In fact, we would love to call ourselves an inclusive organization altogether. So, what are my indicators? Let us understand the metrics. What my indicators? What can be measured, and should I say what should be measured? Let's say the first and foremost thing is the focus. As far as compliance, let's say EEO, equal employment opportunities. Uh, AAA, Alcohol Anonymous, or harassment policy, or age defying, age related. What are we looking at it? We are following the law of the land. We are ensuring that the organization is compliant. In case if there are any issues as far as complaints are concerned, probably monitoring them, keeping a tap of it. Recognition is problem resolution system and technique thereby. The mere fact that you are recognizing a problem is solving half of the issues, half of the problem altogether. So we need to accept it and respect differences. Then comes the inclusions as far as commitment is concerned, engaging employment in activities are concerned. Let us talk about training. Let us talk about ERGs, outreach, mentoring, and sponsorships. The last but not the least, as far as focus and objective is concerned, is activation. This is where the cultural change happens. This is where the assimilation of different cultural backgrounds will happen. DNI or diversity and inclusiveness embedded in the systems and processes. Business case put into practices, integration of effort, example, ERG, support, marketing, global alignment of goals. Now, these would be our focus area, right? Now, how can it be measured? Let's say in front of compliance is tracking of the changes then and there, as on when on basis, what comes and how it is to be done. Adverse impact and analysis, employee demographic as on when on basis. The employee demographic harassment training, and when I'm not talking only about sexual harassment, it can be physical harassment, it can be abuses, it can be age related harassment, it can be disability related harassment, any sort of harassment. Probably we need to measure those things, we need to note down the numbers, and probably training has to be imparted so that we become a compliant organization. As far as recognition is concerned, remember the problem, did I say the moment you recognize a problem, half of the issues is solved. So problem resolution data has to be fixed up around it. Baseline perception data, completion of awareness training, as the case might be. Inclusion is all about communication, enhanced surveys, questions and answers, focus group, input, root cause analysis, diversity, supplier spending, and middle management skill enhancement is what we all look forward to. How progress is measured? It is measured through activation. The customers and the business team, as the case might be, the customer demographic, philanthropic, and spending, integrated accountability goals that needs to be ascertained, that needs to be understood as to there were 10 goals ascertained, of which 7 have been realized. So 3 are still pending. You are able to measure certain things. Customer feedback will let you know, will give you a pulse of what exactly is happening uh, good in your organization and what is not happening in favor of your organization. The current state of D&I measurement, a view that one size fit for all, generally focus remains on representation, on regardless of any strategies or maturity as the case might be. Little measurement of impact of training or of awareness, learning events. Trainings are not necessarily competency based. It can be just sensitizations of certain issues that needs to be done. Education is a continuous effort that needs to be a lifelong inputs has to be given. Few attempts at the company level to relate to diversity and inclusiveness interventions to business outcomes. Lack of comprehensive dashboard telling the story. The diversity and inclusiveness progress across the workforce as the case might be. Poorly designed approaches to managerial accountability, driving undesirable behavior. Now, let me give you simple rules for demystifying the metrics thereby. Oh, what are they? They are the company, the unit, the program, be specific of what we are looking at it. Is it all about organic? Is it within the organization? Is it all inclusive, employees, vendors related? Diagnostic and evaluate it. Try to find out if an issue is cropping up. Is that issue cropping up from one particular segment, one particular unit, one particular program, one particular person, or a group of person perhaps? And then probably try to resolve that issue. The responsibility of stakeholders most able to affect change. Reasonably easy to collect, not burdensome, evolving over a period of time, a way to tell the story that you want to tell about diversity and inclusiveness. Now, how do we go across with it? Identify and focus on the most meaningful, the most useful measures based on diversity and inclusive strategy, the goals that support the organization, particular visions, and the business study thereby. How do we come across with it, and what needs to be done? Now, so what can we do? We can engage everyone, the key stakeholders, the key opinion leaders at all level, because if they can be convinced as what success will look like, they will be able to measure it. Probably they will like to taste success firsthand. Improve measurement of processes and outcomes from both internal and external D&I effort. They can be tailored, they can be targeted metrics that we go around it. Demonstrate the relationship between diversity and inclusiveness action, the HR and business result thereby. Present a meaningful, cohesive picture of progress through an integrated dashboard and D&I measure. Look, let me give you a systematic approach of defining the metrics. What are they? They are nothing but starts right at the business goals. So you have your objective in mind. Based on your objective, will you source talent, appoint people, look for technological interventions, look for process intervention, as in the business strategy to achieve your goal, right? And that is what we are looking around here. Now, once you are talking out here, the most integral part is talent or the workforce. This workforce should mimic or should I say reflection of a society. It should give a reflection of a society. In society, people are from different work backgrounds. So should your staff be, so should your team members be. Workforce should mimic what is there in the society. Strategy and actions do optimize the diversity and inclusiveness contribution. Definitely, if your organization is almost like a replica of the society, probably it becomes much more easier to accept for the society your product, your services, and they might be able to identify themselves with your organization. And that is what we are looking at as talent and business metrics are concerned. The accountability is concerned. So yes, we talk about business goals, HR strategies, DII linkages, measuring the current state, the strategies thereof, and the progress that we go around it. So what do we start with? With social media, with an accumulation or spread of word of mouth spread among the younger generations, both of as an employee and as a consumer. Hire additional IT staff for social media expertise or get into them. Provide work environment challenges. Reward for IT staff what requires the skills. Many of this in targeted IT workforce are Generation Y, the new generation who are approximately 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. They come from different background, diverse background. They have different career goals altogether. They have different expectations from their life. Now this is what we need to go around here. This is here what we need to identify the gap. So measure the current state. Where is the gap? What is your strength in retaining, recruiting workforces? Need to ensure that there is a newer approach to such kind of recruitment and selection things. That is what will improve your brand image. That is what will improve the relatability quotient between your product and services with the end consumers. Increase workplace flexibility and openness. Implement new path for IT functions. And last but not least is the perception of the company brand by potential hires, measured via survey. Increased usage of flex option, feedback from employees, hire and retention statistics for the targeted groups thereby. So yes, we need to talk about the business goals. Let us give an example where the social media is to be exploited to reach the younger recipient or younger audience, or should I say younger buyers, younger consumers. What do I do? We need to update online the brand image that appeals to the younger buyers, the buyers who have extra money in their pocket, disposable income in their pocket, who are earning big at the age, and at the same time does not have much of a responsibility or not much of an expenditure avenues. They are just 25 to 35 age bracket. So pilot crowdsourcing for the product enhancement. Target market should have a significant racial or ethnic diversity. We'll need to assess the impact of the product branding as on when on basis. Doesn't the currently have an adequate market segment? Few linkage to online thing. Now this is what the gap will be looking around here. What are we looking out here? We are trying to build up certain things that needs to be understood. As in my diversity strategy is concerned, we are talking to further researchers, starting with the young professional ERGs, exist a relatedness growth, who can also provide links to the virtual, probably the actual committees thereby, and that is what we should be looking all together. So market share increases, response rates become faster, number of ideas implemented is much higher, as the case might be, and that is what we all strive towards it. So yes, incorporating metric into comprehensive DNI dashboard is qualitative and quantitative. Qualitative in terms of workforce profile, quantitative in terms of diversity climate, as in the employee perception complaint, that is number of complaint, number of perception, number of 360-degree feedbacks, number of HR process unit. Similarly, for programs and processes would be participation and activation, evaluation of the participant experience, program impact. Outcome would be of all about business impact, the return on investment, cost, benefit, internal processes, increase innovation, market growth, customer satisfaction. You name it, tailored to reflect the organization's goals, strategies, and priorities for changes then and there. This is just a sample dashboard for you to understand how an HR matrix will be looking as far as diversity and inclusiveness is concerned. We have the training program, we have the administrative, we have the performances. This is the workforce profile that comes around it. Remember the organization, the unit, the promotion, the hires, the turnover, the leadership, the talent profile will tell me what exactly is happening around it. So what is it good? It gives me a background of ethnicity as far as organization is concerned, the gender that we are talking about, the diversity climate. Remember, audience, you need to understand this is for you to have an idea of what exactly the metrics would be looking around it. This will augment the top management take an appropriate decision during tiring times, during recruitment, during hiring, probably ensuring whether the corporate culture is and the right mix, right culture, which is absolutely mimicking the society thereby. With this, I come to an end of this presentation. Thank you for watching this video.